The Indiana Fever absolutely kicked the living bejesus out of the Las Vegas Aces. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out, of course, to the 19. Here we go. Hey, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Really do appreciate it. Helps out tremendously. The Indiana Fever, the Indiana Fever Sans Caitlin Clark absolutely destroyed the Las Vegas Aces. Now, before we get going, though, I want to show something really quick because I thought this was kind of cool. And this is again, this comes from those hateful Caitlin Clark fans, those hateful Aces. Yeah, this is Melissa Smith being introduced. Her first game with the Las Vegas Aces, of course, came in Indiana.
Melissa Smith. Melissa.
You hear that? You hear that? That was cheering, folks. That was a warm welcome back for Melissa Smith. Yeah, you see that score? That score is correct, folks. 81-54. Start to finish. BTA. The Aces' only quality quarter was the third, where they scored 23 points, and a lot of that was the officiating. The WNBA must, Kathy put in her phone call, said, "Hey, let's before this gets out of hand, let's see if we can get the Aces back into this game." The officials started making some calls, and the Aces started off the third quarter. I forget the run. They went on a little bit of a mini run. It took the Fever a while to get going in the third quarter, but it didn't amount to anything other than that. It was 14, 10, and 7 in the fourth quarter. 54 points. By the way, that is the lowest scoring output, the lowest scoring game in the history of the Las Vegas Aces. Yes, it is. Also, by the way, first time ever under that wonderfully warm, very likable Becky Hammon that the Aces shot under 30%. Before we get into that, I just want to point out Chelsea point god Gray. She absolutely crushed it, as you can see. 2 points, 2 assists, 5 turnovers, 1 for 3. Yeah, she was absolutely wild. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because people want to tell us that she's better than Caitlin Clark, and yet Ari McDonald, who, as we know, was waived, was sitting around doing nothing when the Indiana Fever called because they were running out of players, and she completely outplayed Chelsea point guard Gray. Ari, unfortunately, she couldn't hit those threes. She was 0 for 3, but that means she was 3 of 5 from 2, 3 of 8 overall. Grabbed 7 boards. Little tiny Ari McDonald had 7 rebounds to go with her 7 assists, which is pretty awesome. So shout out to Ari McDonald. But as you can see here, just real quick, going through some of the Aces stuff, they had nothing. The Aces, I'm sorry, the Aces just are not that good. This is one of those things where you let Asia Wilson get hers. She's gonna get hers, and I mean, you don't want her to go on off for 50, right? But you're gonna basically let her get hers, and you're gonna shut everyone else down. And that is what the Indiana Fever did. And look, all season long, one thing the Fever have done all season long has been great against the three-pointer. And the Las Vegas Aces shot 3 of 16 from behind the arc, folks. 3 of 16. To check out some of these performances from these supposed great players. Jewel Lloyd was 0 for 3. Jewel Lloyd only took 3 shots. Chelsea Gray only took 3 shots. They were 1 for 6 combined for 4 points. Jewel Lloyd did not have a field goal, folks. She did not have a field goal. Jackie Young, I like Jackie Young, 2 of 9. Dana Evans off the bench, 1 of 10. Alyssa Smith, 1 of 6. Aaliyah Nye, 1 of 5, 16 of 61, 26.2%. Folks, 54 points on 61 shots, and they still got helped out big time at the line. 19 of 22 from the line. The Indiana Fever completely out rebounded them. That's the other thing people want to talk about. Well, Asia got hers, right? She was 29 points, 9 of 18. The 9 of 18 is good, but obviously lots of calls for her. She was 11 of 13 from the line. On a game in which the Las Vegas Aces were absolutely terrible, Asia Wilson was able to get to the line 13 times. 29 points. Guess what? Asia Wilson only had 3 rebounds, folks. Shout out to the Indiana Fever. Shout out to Aaliyah Boston. They completely destroyed the Aces on the boards as well. 34. Let me just scroll down, make sure I have it right. 37. Sorry. 37. I mixed that up with the 24 assists. 37 rebounds for the Indiana Fever to only 26 for the Las Vegas Aces, right? This was a team effort all the way around. Natasha Howard was quite good. 4 of 8, 11 points, 10 rebounds, picked up 3 assists as well. Aaliyah Boston, 9 of 13. This is a big game for Aaliyah Boston without Caitlin Clark, which is a big deal for the team going forward. Only grabbed 7 rebounds. I mean, that's not terrible. It's a little under than what she got. But again, the whole team was playing really, really well. We can see that as a team, they rebounded very well. Like I said, Ari McDonald had 7 rebounds herself. So Aaliyah Boston, 20 points, 7 rebounds, a couple of assists. Kelsey Mitchell was awesome, 9 of 18, 4 of 6 from three, 25 points to go with 6 assists. Ari McDonald, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. That's she stuffed the stat sheet, as they will say. Lexi Hull, only 7 points. But here's the thing: Lexi Hull and also Sophie Cunningham off the bench, they really aren't focal points of the offense. There are only so many shots to go around, and those are really the couple of players that within what's going on, there are some nights where they'll get more shots, but in general they don't. So if you look at, Lexi Hull getting 7 points or Sophie Cunningham only getting two, it's not necessarily that they're not playing well. Both of them do a lot of other things, but they're not focal points of the offense being run. Right. So they're not going to get a lot of shots. Hull only took 5 shots. Sophie Cunningham only took 4 shots, but they do a lot of other things, as we know, that are very, very important to the team. Keep in mind, I don't think I mentioned it. I probably should have led with it. They snapped a 16 game losing streak against the Las Vegas Aces, folks. That is absolutely wild. But like I said, the officials did try their best in the third quarter. There were 2 quick fouls on AB. That kind of forced her out. The Fever didn't score the first few minutes of the third, but the defensive pressure was consistently good all night long. And the offense was good enough, unless maybe that's good enough sounds almost like a backhanded compliment. I don't mean it that way. I'd say, but the 80 some points, 81 points, right? 81, yeah. Just making sure is surprising for the tempo. Now, I know it looked like they played up tempo, and there were moments when they did. It was nice to see Kelsey Mitchell get out in front of things sometimes, but the Fever only took 63 shots. And that would be, again, the bottom of the league. Now, I know it's not the be all end all of tempo, right? It doesn't necessarily mean they're not running, but that's not a lot of shots. And they only took 17 free throws. So, it's not like it's completely out of whack. We say, oh, well, they would have gotten more shots. And by the way, they hit their free throws, which is nice to see. And they shot extremely well, right? 31 of 63. That's awesome. They didn't shoot great from three, only 5 of 16. Overall, they were very, very efficient in this game, and that is a big deal for them. They made more layups than usual as well. A huge key for me from what I saw with or without Caitlin Clark that was big is they did not completely break down in the second half of the game. Like we've seen them do repeatedly, blowing double-digit leads in the second half and losing games. Now, come on, answer me in the comments below. Is there any of you who did not have that enter your mind at the start of that third quarter when we're about 3 minutes into the third quarter? The Aces were on, like, I don't know, a 7-0 run or something like that. The Fever had yet to even score in the second half. You're all thinking, yeah, you know what? We have seen this movie before. I got to take a moment, huge moment, to absolutely shout out Kelsey freaking Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell, I got to tell you. Now she drives me absolutely crazy at times. And but that is the type of player that she is. That is going to happen. Caitlin Clark, same type of way, right? They're different players for sure, but they're both very offensive minded, and at times can absolutely drive you crazy. But that being said, Kelsey Mitchell is one of the few players in the WNBA who I enjoy watching. She is a ridiculously explosive athlete. She is fast, she is quick, she had her agility and change of direction are fantastic as well. She's explosive to the bucket. And when she is on her game, she is a joy to watch. She is fun. She is exciting to watch. I enjoy her game. And she was absolutely on last night. 25 points, 9 of 18, 4 of 6 from three. Absolutely wild. And I will say what I have said repeatedly many, many times, for me, she is the best shooting guard in the WNBA, period, full stop. End of discussion. There is no debate. I do not want to hear about players like Enrique. I do not want to hear about players like Jewel Lloyd. I don't even want to hear about Sabrina Ionescu. Okay? No, absolutely not. I think the only one who could rival her at this point, if she were in the league, would be Kennedy Carter. Jewel Lloyd, and I've said this always from day one. Now, I know last year, I think maybe the first two times that the Fever played the Storm, Jewel Lloyd was absolutely on fire. We know Enrique can do that, right? I think she fooled everyone with her All-Star game performance. They can both get their own shots. They can both get extremely hot, but they're shot chuckers. They shoot a low percentage. Kelsey Mitchell had her most efficient season of her career last year, but she was always good. She was always a much better shooter than players like Jewel or Enrique, and I think even Sabrina. Yes, I think Kelsey Mitchell is a better shooter than Sabrina Ionescu. I love Kelsey Mitchell's shot. I love the way she shoots the ball. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So I had to stop a moment and just go on and on about Kelsey Mitchell and give her her props because she absolutely deserves it. I love watching her play, and she deserves everything she gets at this point for all those seasons that she went through with the Indiana Fever. Natasha Howard looks much more active. Natasha Howard looks like she de-aged, right? Not like in a Hollywood way where it's an image, but in the way she plays the game. She's got quicker feet. She's lighter on her feet. She looks like a younger Natasha Howard right now. I hope that sticks because it's going to be really interesting. And I'll leave you off with some questions, and I'm curious what y'all think in the comments below. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens when Caitlin Clark returns. Because I had questions. I didn't like the offense that was being played. So I still have questions. Is Stephanie White going to limit Caitlin Clark? I feel like Stephanie White, in slightly different ways, is still doing the same thing that Chrissy Sides was doing. She was not happy about those logo threes. I'm sorry, anyone watching that bench, I don't believe that she was happy with those logo threes that Caitlin was shooting against the Fever. I think she would like to eliminate them. I think she would like to take away a lot of the positives from Caitlin Clark's game and diminish her into a Connecticut Sun offense a little more last night, where Caitlin Clark, like Paige Beckers, is going to be a good player, but she's going to be a good player in what we expect from the WNBA, which I do not want to see. So I'm going to be really interested for me to see how Caitlin Clark plays when she gets back, but also how her teammates play around her. One thing we have not seen is Caitlin Clark teamed up with Ari McDonald. How is that going to look? Because one thing I noticed last game too was at times is players getting out in front and running the court in a way that they have not done this season for Caitlin Clark. So it's going to be interesting to see, will Howard revert, or is she going to play this way with Caitlin? Because if I hope she figures this out, if she plays this way with Caitlin and gets out in front, she's going to be even better. She's going to get easier buckets. She'll get more shots. Because I tell you what, as much as we all want to see the logo threes, and they better keep coming, I don't think there's a lot of people who would be too upset with a Fever running team where Caitlin's points go from maybe 20 to 15 a game, and all of a sudden she's averaging 12, 13, 14 assists and having, a game here or there where she's got 20 plus assists in a high tempo offense. You see the way she drops those dimes from 50, 60 feet away. I think people love watching that. So it's going to be really interesting. Maybe the entire problem of this team, again, I still think there's a little bit of Stephanie White being an issue with her offense, but in terms of the locker room, in terms of the player dynamic, maybe a lot of it was DeWanna Bonner, right? Maybe the Fever, now that that is kind of settled. She's gone, even though she was, away for personal reasons, but you still had that hanging over them as, what's going to happen? Is she coming back? What? And now she's gone and she's out. And maybe the team is starting to come together. I hope so, because, and I've said this before as well, the Indiana Fever on paper without Caitlin Clark. Now it's a WNBA team, right? So it's still a lot of what people never wanted to watch. But in that context, on paper, without Caitlin Clark, this is a playoff basketball team in terms of their talent relative to the rest of the league. So these wins don't surprise me. What will they do with Caitlin Clark? Can they integrate Caitlin Clark so we get that excitement and that entertainment and allow Caitlin to be Caitlin and still win games? Because if they can do that, yes, this still is a team that can compete for a championship. I need to see them go on a run because obviously their odds increase if they get some home series. If they get a top four seed, and even more so if they get a top two seed, it definitely greatly increases their chances. And so it's going to be, will White put the ball in Clark's hands and allow Caitlin to be Caitlin? Will they be up tempo? 63. Again, the number of shots we're seeing is not good. This should be a team that gets up to 80 shots a game, not 61, 63, 64, 59. That's not enough. This is a team that should be getting 75, 80 shots. This is a team who should be getting consistently 95, 100 points a game. Will they do that? Or will Caitlin Clark just become another WNBA player, albeit a good one, and the Fever grind out wins with the Connecticut Sun offense where Caitlin's maybe taking 8, 9, 10 shots a game and no logo threes? Anyway, let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. As always, appreciate you so much. Go have the day you deserve. Happy Independence Day, and I will talk to you later.